Welcome back to BookShortz, the channel where powerful books meet powerful storytelling. Today, we're diving into a deeply emotional and unforgettable memoir, Shattered Girls' Survival by Kailee Wenzel. This is not just a story. It's a raw and courageous journey of surviving childhood abuse, facing unimaginable trauma, and finding the strength to speak out and heal. If you've ever doubted the resilience of the human spirit, this story will change that Kailee's. Truth is heartbreaking, but her fight is inspiring, and by the end, you'll see just how strong one voice can be. If you love stories that are real, raw, and make you feel something deep inside, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a powerful book summary from BookShortz. Let's get into it. Some stories shake you to your core, not because they are filled with fantasy or fiction, but because they are real, raw, and rooted in the kind of pain most people will never talk about. Shattered Girls' Survival by Kailee Wenzel is one of those stories. It is not just a memoir, it is a confession, a lifeline, and a rebellion against silence. From the outside, Kailee may have looked like any other girl, but inside she was crumbling under the weight of unimaginable trauma. Her story is one of stolen innocence, years of hidden abuse, and a fierce battle to reclaim her life. And if you think you've heard powerful survival stories before, get ready, because this one will leave you breathless. Kailee's journey into darkness began when she was just 3 years old, at an age where most children are just learning to speak full sentences, and discovered joy she was already being groomed and abused. Her father and uncle, two men who were supposed to protect her, used their positions to violate her repeatedly in ways that no child should ever experience. The abuse continued until she was 12, and during those years her life was shaped by fear, manipulation, and silence. She was told to be quiet, forced to hide what was happening, and made to feel that her pain was her fault. As she grew up, Kailee learned how to mask her emotions. She became a master at pretending. Smiling when she was in pain, acting normal when her world was anything but, and keeping her darkest secrets buried deep inside. But abuse leaves a trail that time alone cannot erase. The trauma she experienced followed her into adulthood and shaped her relationships, her decisions, and her sense of self-worth. The world only saw a functioning young woman, but inside, Kailee was drowning. Her teenage and early adult years did not bring safety. Instead, they brought more pain. Kailee was raped 3 times by strangers and endured more physical, emotional, and psychological abuse from men who entered her life. It was as if trauma had marked her and predators sensed it. Each new violation pushed her further into isolation and despair. She struggled to trust anyone, including herself. She began to question her worth, her value, and even her right to exist. She entered relationships that mirrored the chaos of her childhood, hoping someone would finally love her enough to fix the broken parts inside her. For over 2 decades, Kailee kept her abuse a secret. She wore a mask every day, pretending everything was okay. The weight of her silence was crushing. She felt like a ticking time bomb, walking around with wounds that no one could see and pain that had no voice. But secrets have a way of demanding to be heard, and Kailee reached a point where the silence was more painful than the truth. She made the courageous decision to tell her mother everything, to finally release the truth she had carried alone for so long. But fate dealt her a cruel blow. Shortly after Kailee confided in her mother died in a tragic accident. It was a loss so deep and so devastating that it nearly destroyed her. The one person she had trusted enough to share her truth was suddenly gone. In her grief, Kailee could have shut down completely. She could have chosen to go back into hiding, but instead she made the boldest choice of her life. She decided to speak out, loudly, publicly, fearlessly. Shattered Girls' Survival is the result of that decision. This book is more than just a memoir. It is a weapon against shame, a beacon of hope for survivors, a voice for the voiceless. In these pages, Kailee shares everything: the abuse, the aftermath, the toxic relationships, the self-destructive behaviors, the depression, the doubt, and the fight to recover. She does not sugarcoat her pain. She does not pretend healing is easy. What she offers is the truth, unfiltered and unapologetic. Kailee walks readers through her journey of healing. She shares the therapy sessions that forced her to revisit painful memories, The journal entries where she poured out her soul. The eye, nights she cried herself to sleep. The moments when she questioned whether life was even worth living. But slowly, steadily, she found her strength. She began to understand that she was not broken, that what happened to her did not define her, that she was more than a victim. She was a survivor, a fighter, a woman who refused to be destroyed. One of the most powerful parts of this book is Kailee's honesty about the healing process. She talks about how hard it is to face your past, how tempting it is to numb the pain with distractions or self-harm. She talks about the guilt that survivors often carry and the lies they tell themselves. But she also shows how healing is possible, how setting boundaries, learning to trust, and practicing self-love can change everything. She shares her setbacks, but also her victories, like the first time she said no and meant it, the first time she looked in the mirror and saw someone worthy of love, the first time she spoke to another survivor and gave them hope. Kailee's mission goes beyond telling her own story. She wants to save lives, literally. She knows what it's like to feel hopeless, to believe the world would be better without you. She's been in that dark place, and she made it her mission to shine, a light for others. Shattered Girl's Survival is written for every person who has ever felt alone, for every child living in fear, for every adult carrying childhood trauma, for every soul that needs to hear the words, "You are not alone and you can heal." This book does not offer easy answers, but it offers something even more valuable: truth, compassion, and strength. Kailee wants readers to understand what abuse really does to a person, how it changes the way they think, feel, and connect. She wants people to recognize the signs and be brave enough to speak out. She believes that when survivors share their stories, they take back the power that was stolen from them. And when others listen without judgment, they become part of the healing. As the pages unfold, you begin to witness Kailee's transformation. She goes from a scared, broken girl to a strong, empowered woman. She rebuilds her sense of identity piece by piece. She finds her voice and uses it not only to free herself, but to help others break their silence. Her words are filled with fire, with passion, with unshakable belief in the resilience of the human spirit. By the end of Shattered Girl's Survival, you won't just know Kailee's story, you will feel it. You will carry her pain, her victories, and her message in your heart. This is not a book you read and forget. It is a story that stays with you, that makes you reflect, that demands you to be better, more aware, more compassionate. Kailee's bravery in telling her story is an act of defiance against every person who tried to silence her. Her strength is a reminder that even in the face of relentless trauma, the human soul can rise again. She is not just surviving, she is thriving. And through her story, she invites others to do the same. If you're looking for a story that's real, powerful, and deeply moving, this is it. If you're searching for hope after trauma, this is it. If you want to understand what true courage looks like, read this story. Shattered Girl's Survival is not just a book. It is a revolution against silence. It is proof that healing is messy, but beautiful. And it is a testament to the fact that even the most shattered girl can survive and shine. If you want to listen full audiobook for free, link on description. Thank you.